Hi, everybody. My name's Alison Kelly, and I'm a motivational speaker and empowerment coach. Welcome to More Than Words podcast. Basically, I bring on guests who I feel have got an amazing story, message, empowering journey that they'd like to share. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to reach out to as many people as we can, because someone might have a story or message all gone through a journey that they feel might help others. And that's why I do this. So that's who I am. I'm Alison Kelly, an empowerment coach, motivational speaker. And my guest today is Gemma. Gemma, welcome to More Than Words podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, Gemma, the reason you're here is because you are the co-founder of Tata, which is a organization. Was it an would I say an organization, a charity that
Yeah, it's a
help
charity. Yep.
yeah, that helps ladies who have had their breasts removed, is that right? And you tattoo them?
Yep. So it's a charity that basically funds artists to tattoo breast cancer or post mastectomy tattoos.
That's amazing. First question, can you discuss any challenges that you've actually encountered in establishing how to run Tata?
I wouldn't say with how to run it as such. It's been a little bit challenging becoming a registered charity. So at the moment, we're still in the process of being fully registered, but because it's still quite small at the moment, it's not imperative that it happens right this second. So we have got time, but we are in the process. Everything's going through. We're just waiting for the registration to happen. And then when it does, hopefully we can go bigger and get more sponsors and sort of grow the charity and the awareness and everything that it stands for. But at the moment, that is probably the most challenging part. But everything else, I mean, it runs smoothly. I mean, everybody's very supportive. We do fundraisers every year. There's a lot of, obviously, where we live on the Isle of Wight, there's a lot of island people that are very not just islanders, I think everywhere that is quite close to home, so they're quite willing to actually help and get involved. So I don't think, as far as it being challenging, I don't think it is, just because everybody is so supportive. But the only thing, like I say, is actually getting it a fully registered charity, which it is in the process of, but
That's
hoping it'll be
amazing.
soon.
I totally understand where you're coming from. For someone who is, starting up a business from scratch, no funding, no training, no experience, and just trying to reach out to as many people as I can. I'm also in the process of starting to come out a little bit more so I can be like get into that charity part. And that's the challenging part. I found as well, because I'm not from the Isle of Wight, we call, is it openers, newbies, and things like that. So I'm kind of like trying to work out where I fit in. I love the Isle of Wight, and the Isle of Wight is an amazing community. But if you're not from the Isle of Wight, I think for me, that's been my biggest challenge. But this isn't about me. This is about you and what you're doing. Next question is, are there any specific stories or experience from breast cancer survivors who have benefited from the foundation services that actually stand out for you?
um I think, to be honest, they all stand out because I get people coming to me from all over the world. I don't just get people from the Isle of Wight, I get people from all
Oh,
over the
wow.
UK. I have people that fly over. And I just think it's really overwhelming that people are coming all this way just to come and see little old me. And I'm like, so I feel like that it all stands out, that part. There is a funny story though. I did a
Okay.
lady I did a lady. She hadn't actually had breast cancer. She had a breast reduction, and the surgeon lost her nipple, which can happen. Anyway, she was
Wow.
so happy with her new nipple. She'd gone home on the bus and she was talking about it to the lady sat next to her. And then not only did she talk about it, she showed the lady on the bus next to her new nipple. And she called me when she got home and she said, I'm so happy. She goes, but I got too excited and showed someone my boob on the way home on the bus. I said to her, oh my gosh, you can't, you'll get arrested. You can't show people in public places. But yeah, it's such a nice thing to do because everybody is so touched by it. And I've done a lot of people that maybe they haven't had a tattoo. They've just been, I mean, the waiting lists are a long time. So some people have their reconstruction or have a mastectomy, don't have a reconstruction for a couple of years, then say they don't have nipples, it's just another thing and they don't do it. And then I did a lady, she hadn't had nipples for 20 years. And then she came to me, she went, I'm not bothered. She goes, I just saw somebody that you did. And then I thought, oh, okay, I'll give it a go. And she was with me. And then afterwards, oh, she was in tears and she said, oh, I never knew how much I needed it. And it's like, I think it's just all overwhelming for them as well. It's quite touching for me as well, kind of knowing how much difference you're making.
And you're reaching out, you're making such a difference. And it's absolutely fantastic what you're doing. And that's why I needed to get you on here because some people might not even understand or even know that you can have it done,
They
and
don't.
no,
Yeah.
this is the thing. I learned a little bit about it because you were coming on, but I didn't really know that much because I suppose unless you have to, it's something that you don't really think about,
Yeah.
you know. So how do you plan to increase the awareness? What we're just talking about. How do what is your next step to,
Well,
you
my
were
next
saying
step
about
is,
become charity?
yeah, I'm hoping to obviously grow the charity. As soon as it's registered, I feel like that's going to open more doors for us regarding the charity. I mean, obviously, we teach the nipple tattooing as well. We teach it around the UK, we go to America, Ireland, we sort of teach all over. And I'm hoping, because obviously the ladies that we teach then have an opportunity to become a Tata sponsored artist, which means that they can then do the fundraisers and they can then get funding for the work they do and the clients don't have to pay. So the more people we teach around the world, then hopefully they will then become, and obviously it will grow, and then each of them will, continue to raise awareness in their own way as well. So, and obviously we have a website, the areola and it's got a lot of information for patients going through it. We've got checklists to take to hospital. We've got websites for them to go through. We've got a list of surgeons. We've got some nice inspirational writing from one of my lovely ladies that she wrote when she was going through breast cancer. And we've also got a list of things that I've been asking my clients, is there something you know now you wish you'd have known? And they go, yeah, I'll message you later. And they always do. And then I've put the list. There's a lot of information on there
Fantastic.
as well. And then obviously there's pictures and images and like lots of things. And then obviously information about training and information about the charity and how to become a Tata sponsored artist and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it sounds like the domino effect. You tell
yeah,
one person and it goes over and over and over, and
that's it.
that's what you really want, isn't it? Word of mouth
Yeah,
is the
because like I say, if there's
best.
not enough awareness because you can't put photos on Facebook. Um,
No,
well, my account should have been cross-checked now, and I shouldn't have been getting banned from Facebook anymore. But the last time I posted a nipple tattoo, I got my business page taken down. Bear in mind, I don't just do nipple tattooing. That's not, I'm a cosmetic tattoo artist as well. So, and I've got a salon, I've got girls that work for me. So I cannot get my page taken down because it's not just me. So obviously I've got two girls that obviously also do the cosmetic tattooing, brows, liner, lips, that kind of thing. And my page is obviously adverts for everybody, not just for me. So yeah, my whole page got taken down and I was quite happy. I was willing to cancel my day and go up to London and sit in the Facebook head office until they reinstalled it, but I managed to do it. I managed to kind of do it online, but now I've stopped posting completely on Facebook. So I Instagram's a bit better, but actually there's a lady, Vicky Martin, she's a lovely lady, she does the cosmetic nipple tattooing as well. And a couple of years ago, she did a protest for us all, like a lot of ladies that do the tattooing, to all go to London head office dressed as
wow,
boobs. And hang around outside. We had a choir. It was brilliant, and everybody who was there, basically, that's what was should have changed the what happens with Facebook, but it's still going on. I don't know if it'll ever change.
Don't me and Facebook. So, like you said, it's your business. It's the best place to actually social media to get out there. And that's how we do things nowadays, isn't it?
These
It's
days,
through
yeah.
social media. And like I said, I'm just a small business starting out and everything else. And I was putting posts out. I do TikToks and, I'm not so much for Instagram, but I do my TikToks and that. And I went on Facebook and I'd been banned. And what it was, when you go to down to the pier and you've got the cutouts and you can put your
Yeah.
head through them. Well, it was a man one. It was of an old man with a big belly and a pair of swimming trunks and my head. And they said that was offensive. It
Oh
wasn't
my
even
God.
me, it was a cutout. So I was taken off Facebook for a little while, which I wasn't happy about. Never mind.
It's
So
ridiculous, isn't it?
it is ridiculous. So let's go on to, oh, lost my questions. How do you plan to do the awareness? I've done that one. Oh, have you collaborated with any other organizations or professionals? Now, you already said that you travel, which I think is amazing, and you teach people what to do. But what professionals are involved? Are there any professionals in healthcare,
Um,
that's involved in
we have a
this?
lot of surgeons that recommend us.
It's
Um,
amazing.
the lady, when we teach, we have obviously different organizations that host us. Um, sort of, so they basically host, and then they are also in contact
Mm,
with certain surgeons and things like that. So, yeah, we are to a certain extent. Yeah,
that's really great. That is, to have that behind you, it just makes you feel I know you're established, but to know that there's, what people say, the professionals are behind you. Because people look at that, don't they? They judge you
yeah.
by who you're with. And no, for me, I know a lot of people look at me and think, oh, who are you to do your podcasts and go out there and try and raise awareness about mental health and stuff. But the reason that I do it is because I'm doing it from a personal journey, and I can empathize with a lot of people. And that's why I try and raise awareness about these areas and try and share messages and journeys.
Well, it's all very
But there's
positive, and I think we need more positivity, don't we? And
yeah,
the more you like,
yeah,
the
and
more awareness and the more positive you can kind of get out, the better. Doesn't matter if you're
exactly to
new or
help.
old, or we're all in it for the same reasons.
But sadly, there's some people out there, Gemma, that look at you and think, well, you're not a professional. You're not this and you're not that. I don't tell people about my qualifications. I am qualified to do what I
Yeah.
do. I wouldn't go out and pretend to be a coach or
Yeah.
pretend to be a counselor if I hadn't done that. But some people like to see that because I think it's almost like an old-fashioned way. It's establishment, isn't it? Authority. So it's great that you have got that for you,
I think
well
as well,
done.
I mean, obviously there's always going to be people that are negative, but I think ignoring the negative and focusing on the positive, it is always it's always going to outweigh the negative. And I think you're always going to get it no matter what industry you're in. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't like it, and I always think collaborating with people, no matter what the industry, you're always going to end up on top than competition. There's
That's
enough people to go around. Like I said, everyone's in it for the same reason. There doesn't need to be any type of competition in any industry whatsoever. I think it's just all about just, networking and trying to actually become friends and actually focusing on, I mean, someone who's being negative, I mean, if they were focusing on the positive and actually their own journey, they'll probably be a lot happier.
exactly, exactly. I love the fact this what I was saying about our interview. We've got questions, but you kind of go off on one, and that's what I
Yeah.
love. It's just the fact that people will understand listening from the podcast and listening from our interview that we are just normal everyday people. We're
Yeah.
not trying to be anything, but the main thing, like you said, is just being positive and sharing our experiences and our journey,
Uh-huh.
hoping that our listeners or our viewers will be able to get something from it you
Exactly.
know
Yeah.
right. So advice for those who need support, want support, and maybe listening or watching this, and they haven't heard what about the tattooing until now. what advice would you give them, or how can they go about it to actually get a tattoo?
Put me a message, either email gemzinc@yahoo.com, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or through the website, which is the Areola Training Academy .com, I think. The Areola Training Academy.com. Any means of messaging me, and I'll always get back. And even if it's just for a consult, like you want to come in and have a chat and you're not sure, or just come in and have a chat, anything is absolutely fine. I have, even on my website as well, where I said about the patient information, there's a form you can fill in, even if you want to talk to somebody else who's had it done, who's
That's
obviously
brilliant.
impartial. We can organize that, even if it's just talking about the breast cancer or anything like that. We can set you up or arrange either a meeting or a call or something with somebody who will be most suited to you. Do you know what I mean? So
Fantastic.
same kind of surgery or the same kind of experience, we can set you up with somebody to have a chat with, just
Mm.
someone who's come out the other side. Or let's say
But
someone
that's
who's
what you
had a
need.
tattooing, or anytime
Yeah, but that's
feel
what you
free
need,
for a
isn't it?
chat.
Yeah, that's brilliant because, having that support system, that support network, it's not just about training people to do the tattoos or actually doing the tattoos. It's about you have thought of everything. It's not just, all right, let's get business, let's get some money, let's get established. It's a fact of let's get support for these ladies who have gone
Yeah,
through this.
yeah,
And by doing that, what you've also done is you've made it personal because you're sharing other stories, people's stories who's gone through that. And that's what I love about what you do. So well done. Okay, how do you plan to increase your awareness? Oh, I've done that one. I think I've gone back to front. Oh, here we go. How do you address stigma around it, the misunderstandings? Have you come across any misunderstandings or stigma around it?
Only really what we were sort of saying before about the Facebook things, and they're getting banned from Facebook and the negativity. But to be honest, just ignore it.
Yeah. All right. So how did you get into this?
Um, so obviously I do cosmetic tattooing as well. I've got Gems Inc., which is in Ride, which is again Gems dot com. I don't even know my own websites. I think it's Gems Inc. Cosmetic Tattoo Studio. Um, but kind of it was almost like an add-on from the permanent makeup side. And I did a little course and I thought, I don't think I'd be very good at this. I'm not sure. And I just kind of left it. And then my best friend got breast cancer. Um, my husband's cousin, who I teach with now, Vicky, who is obviously the co-founder with me of the Tata Foundation, and that's who I teach with. Yes, so she got breast cancer, and she said, Gemma, you're doing my tattoo. And I went, oh no, you can go someone else. I wouldn't. I was like, I don't want to. Anyway, she went, you're doing it. And she sent me a picture of her remaining nipple. And she went, there you go. You can practice because you're going to do it. And I went, oh my God. Honestly, I sat down and practiced her nipple about 5 hours a day, I think, because I thought it's there's so much pressure and I couldn't just have a go at it. I thought I need to be perfect at it. So I got really good at tattooing her nipple because that was the only one I'd done. But as I was posting, like I posted a couple of like pictures of latex, and then other people messaged, "Oh, I didn't realize you did this. Can I come in?" And I went, "Well, I don't do this. It's not really something, I'm like, yes, I'm qualified to do it, but I haven't really done it. Oh, you can practice on me." And I was like, "Oh my God." Anyway, and it kind of all just went from there. And then because I'd been practicing so much, and I'd said to Vicky, I don't want to do it until I get it right. I want to do it until I can't get it wrong. Like I don't want to do it until I'm just okay at it. I did a lot every day, every minute I got spare. I was on latex practicing nipples, drawing nipples. I was like a weirdo everywhere I went. I remember even sitting in a service station and I had a little napkin and I was drawing a nipple on it. And I was thinking, imagine if people saw. And I think it's because it was so embedded in my head, and I was seeing nipples everywhere. Kind of you got little circles on like the beach front, and I was thinking, oh, they look like nipples. And even my son, he's 9, he's like, they look like nipples, mum. And it's kind of like
Oh,
it's so normal to him now. But that's how it kind of got started. And obviously, yeah, that
amazing.
was years ago. I've tattooed her. She's, and like I say, it's just naturally, organically progressed to where it is now. And it's nice because we
Right.
haven't forced it, it's just happened.
Yeah. So is it just the nipples, or do you tattoo where if a lady's had her breasts fully removed, do you tattoo like this, like a, because I've seen photos of where
The
someone's had their
body
breasts
tattoo.
removed. Yeah, the body tattoo, and they've maybe put like a blossom tree with
No, but
trees and stuff like that.
we've got a
Trees.
wonderful lady that I work with called Serafina Tattoos, and she is an most incredible tattoo artist. She's on Instagram and Facebook and everything if you wanted to check out her work. So anybody who I have that wants something more decorative, I'll send her way because she is incredible. We do something called MCA, which is it breaks down the scar tissue. It's a little bit like microneedling. It sends the collagen and elastin to the
Okay.
area, and it actually breaks down the scar tissue. So it stops the scar being so tough and painful, breaks it all down and makes it a lot more comfortable. And I can also do scar camouflage, which is tattooing skin color into scars. However, I prefer the MCA. I think you get better, in my opinion, better results than the scar camo, because obviously us very pale white English people tend to have very pale skin, and if you're tattooing, it just doesn't seem to work unless you've got a tan or you're naturally tanned.
Yeah.
It's going to work better, yeah. Whereas very
So
pale people, the scar camo, I prefer the MCA.
So I scolded myself. It must be about 6 months ago. All you might can't see it, but I had a hot water bottle, one of the long ones, and I put it over my shoulder, and I hadn't done it upright, and it was boiling.
Oh,
I might as well just poured water,
pour boiling
and
water.
all down here, all down my breasts and on my arm, I scalded, and I've the scars aren't bad, but I've left a scar. It's a bruise. It doesn't look like a scar. It's a bruise. And I think if it was on white skin, it would have looked worse. But on tan skin, it wasn't too bad. And I have thought about not here so much, but on the arm part, should I get it covered? Because scars, it's how we see ourselves. It's also, I think, with tattooing, it's empowering. If you've got no nipple, what you've been through the everything, the whole journey of, oh my word, I've found a lump, or oh my word, I've been to the doctor and they've discovered this. It's not just a journey of getting a tattoo, it's the whole process. And that's almost like a trophy of saying, look at me, I've got through this. I'm bloody awesome. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think it can be. It can also be a trigger as well. So a lot of ladies that I see have a radiation marks. Have you seen the little radiation dots? So they basically tattoo like a dark mark. Some people it's darker than others, but they tattoo it on, and then it's
Oh,
like they've got all this scar, and then this one little dot is like a trigger. So we can laser them. So we can laser them off as well. Although they don't always laser that well because they seem to be quite deep. But we can usually laser it, lighten it, and then add a little bit of color in to make it look more like a freckle, so it doesn't look so much like a big blue dot. So there's a lot more, I think, that comes hand in hand with everything than just the tattooing. Like say, there's a lot more behind it and in front of it.
yeah, and you've, like you said, you've got the support there. It's not just about tattooing. You've put support. Your website's there. People can go on there. It may be .com. We don't know yet, but we'll find out, Jeff.
Yeah.
So what I do, so
I'll
I
tell you now, I'll tell you now. Right. The Areola Training Academy.com.
.com. There you go. What I'll do is I'll put it underneath when I put this up. I'll put it underneath.
Yeah.
So you be able to, if anyone needs to get in contact with Gemma, you can go on there. You can reach out to Gemma. Gemma, it's been a pleasure, and I'm so honoured and so proud of what you ladies are doing and have done so far, and what you'll continue to do. Thank you so much for
Oh,
being a
thank you.
guest.
Oh,
It's
thank
been a
you. Thank you so
pleasure.
much for having me and inviting me on. It's been lovely.
And do you know what? You're only down the road from me, and most we bump into each other
I
now
know.
because we haven't actually met until today, and I bet we'll
Yeah.
bump into each other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny though, isn't it? Because it's like when I walk the dog and I see people with a dog and then I see them in the high street and I don't recognize them because they haven't got the dog with them. It's like that. I won't recognize you without the headphones.
Right, Gemma, thank you ever so much for being a guest. I really appreciate it. And for anybody who has listened in today and feel that they need to talk about anything, it could be due to a journey that they're going through that they feel that they're struggling with, or you may have a message or a business or a journey that you'd like to share and you'd like to be a guest on More Than Words podcast, please get in contact with me. I am Alison Kelly. You can find me at Alison at alisonkellycoaching.co.uk. And I practiced that one,
And you
Gemma, because
remember
I
the
forgot last week.
.co.uk.
Take care, everybody. And thank you again, Gemma, for
Oh, thank you
being
so
my
much.
guest.
Bye.
Bye.